Now, obviously, today is Wednesday and we are celebrating women. And on Tuesday, we do literature reviews. But today is a special day because we are celebrating a woman who is an author and she's very diverse in who she is. Her portfolio is fantastic. And I'll just read some of it so that I don't leave anything out. It says she's got experience stretching from financial management, human capital management administration, landscaping architecture, life coaching, entrepreneurship, and philanthropy. My goodness, this speaks leadership to me, leadership roles, because she's taking it on and she's making an impact in the society through being an author and through being a great leader. I am joined in the studio today by Marbel Muchenje, who has written two amazing books, one of them which we will be discussing right here, and it's called The Darkest Battles. Good morning, Marbel.
Good morning, Melita. How are you?
Very well. How are you doing?
I'm good.
I think we were in the same prayer closet today because we were both wearing off shoulders.
What a coincidence. What a coincidence.
A great one, because great minds think alike.
You know.
Excellent. Marbel, now I've just read about who you are, and I was also reading the synopsis of your book at the back of the Darkest Battles, and my heart was sorrowful. Okay, but also very excited about what you have to contribute into society based on your experience. Would you like to just maybe tell us a little bit about your experience and why you wrote this book?
Thank you for this opportunity, really, to share with the nation about the darkest battle. Actually, it's a memo of my life experience, which has been coupled with maybe possible solutions on how we can assist communities, even those who are young adults and growing up. So actually what inspired me to write this book is I got to a point where I thought it's high time I impact the next person. So for me to stay with or to remain with a lot of testimonies or how things have been for me and how I overcame, keep it to myself was going to be very selfish.
Right.
And actually, I owe communities. I've been raised by the church. I've been raised by well-wishers. And I feel that I owe communities to give it back to what they have contributed in my life. Yeah. So here we are.
Here we are.
Sure.
Okay. And one of the things that I do see is that you have 4 siblings.
Sure.
3 siblings, is it?
4.
4. And you raised them, being the oldest out of all of that. How did that situation come about?
Okay, it's just, I just found myself there.
Okay.
It wasn't planned. I never envisaged it. I never saw it coming. But out of duty or of seeing that I had to step up, eventually I had to be with my 4 other siblings and being the eldest, taking care of what they eat, guiding them, making contracts, looking for accommodation, scholarships, every other thing you can think of that a mother and father can provide.
Right.
I had to see myself on that space involuntarily.
Right. That is good. And for you to sit down and actually put this down on paper, you put in characters in the book. What are the main characters that are in this book, in your story?
Well, the book is a memo, so to speak.
Okay.
And I could be featuring much than anyone else.
Okay. So yes, there was another lady, sorry to interject. There was a lady I was asking that, you know how sometimes we write our life in a book and our families know. Did you experience that, or do you put it in a way that we don't actually know that it is you?
At some point I was tempted to get in some studio.
Yeah.
But I didn't want this book to be a fiction.
Okay.
I wanted the next person who was reading it to really pick that this is real life situation.
Right.
I know when I talk of my resume, some people think it's fiction. Some people think I don't look like it. I don't look like I was at some point in that bird space. So I didn't want it to, by putting some pseudonyms or disguising quite much. I don't want people to think it's all fiction, very creative, and put me on one of those artists who are very creative. I wanted it to help people realize that you may face battles, but you can overcome them. So I happen to be the major actor or the major character in that book. Obviously, like what you're saying, I have lived with family, I've lived with people. I have tried all I can to be very diplomatic or kind of cover who they are.
That's very good. That's very good. So some of the main themes, I mean, we talk about your journey and you talk about the lessons that people can draw from your writings. What are some of the topics that you touch on in your book?
I can safely say the book have been a bit more multifaceted in that I was trying to, you can understand that I'm writing about my experience as a girl, and this time around I'm a woman, a mature woman. And I was talking to parents. I was talking to parents on issues of parenting. I know there are a couple of issues that are happening currently, popping up issues about how we are kind of lacking in terms of measuring up to be good parents. Part of what I have been addressing to parents is how to protect their children in case of death eventualities. Unfortunately, death is viewed as a taboo in our African culture, where no one wants to talk about it. We pretend, or we assume, or we entertain the ideas that maybe we live forever. But the reality is death will suddenly come. I did saw it. I did saw my mom, who was the last parent, dying, and it gave me the realities of death. So I was saying to the parents, let's do will writing, or at least put your properties in trust. Right. So that at least you protect children. The rest of it, read it in the book of how my life journey was. It will give you an awakening that you want to understand how it is when you eventually die and you leave your children to the assumptions of your siblings or other individuals or communities as it were. So except speaking to the parents, I did a bit of advocating or lobbying with the government. I'm hoping that the government can come in and maybe make will writing a mandatory for everyone, right, so that at least it gives less burden on his social welfare department, and also that parents maybe are pushed into taking responsibility and telling us what is going to happen with their children should they die. We are of a culture that usually we want to think about when we are buried, so luxury. Mm-hmm. We have our grave set up, our good coffin and everything. We are cool with that. What is going to happen to your children after in case of eventualities?
And you do know that I love how you are addressing parents as well. What have you done to also address the children, to be able to say, hey, you know what, you can be strong, or you can do this, you know, equip yourself if it's a girl child, a male child? How do you kind of help the other side? Because death does affect both sides.
Yes. Thank you for that question. Very brilliant. It is the other face that I did spoke to. The book actually, in its totality, actually my major motivation was to try and coach what we call adverse quotient coaching, where we are trying to, you'll find much of that in Pero Times Are Not Peculiar, but also part of that, after I've written it in The Darkest Battles, I felt I needed to go a little bit further, thereby birthing Pero Times Are Not Peculiar. That's why I was telling you offshore that I wrote them concurrently. Yes. Yeah. My message to children is that you read the entire chapter 3 and you understand how I was making my choices. You'd understand the kind of mental stamina that I have to take with myself, the kind of discipline, the kind of navigations that I did. And in reading my testimonies, there are about 16 episodes, mm-hmm, and 17 which I'll unpack with time, where I am trying to coach to have children have their adverse conscience very strengthened, and for them to face realities. Therefore, they will end up avoiding substance abuse, sexual exploits,
gender-based violence,
suicide and all
that are really springing up.
Yes.
Right. Just before we wind up, Marbel, where do we find this book?
We are going to do a book launch on the 7th of December, this coming weekend, on Saturday at the venue, Avondo, just behind STV. That's when we are going to launch the book at around 11 a.m. We're going to be selling the book there. We had also requested that people do a pre-order and get the book. Right. So between now and the book launch, we'll be getting the book at the book launch. Then thereafter, we'll announce the various places where you can access the book, online. Yeah.
Okay, excellent. How much is the book?
The book is $10 per copy.
$10 per copy.
Sure.
And we can find it on your social media handles. Can we find it directly from you?
You can find it directly from me. I am on my Facebook as Marbel Muchenje. You can contact me on my WhatsApp number +263 775 891 880 +263 775 891 880.
Excellent. Yeah. Thank you so much for your time, and I do wish you all the success.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, and that's all we have for Morning Rush this wonderful Wednesday morning.
Konapo Ipapo by ZTN Prime, DSTV channel 294, the place to be.